Man, do.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tuck Rule Takes episode what episode 173?
That sounds right to me.
Episode 173 of Tuck Rule Takes. You heard Liam. Liam's here. I'm Mike. I'm here as well. If you're watching on YouTube or anywhere else, but I guess it's really only YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see there's only two of us here. The OG TRT boys are here. Al is out. Nothing crazy, just he's doing stuff. Life gets in the way. He'll be back next week. Don't worry, we didn't kick him off the island. But we
Yeah,
did say in honor of the teacher being gone, we would wear glasses, so we look a little bit smarter. Um,
it's only fitting. I think
yeah,
me and Mike are better teachers than Al could ever be, and that'll be proven after this
yeah,
podcast.
no, this is known, but don't let Al find out. Definitely don't let him find out. Not like he listens, which he does every single time because he gives us notes afterwards. It's like, damn guys, good episode, but blah blah blah, just like a classic teacher shit. But Tuck Rule
Yeah.
takes episode 173, maybe question mark. We'll find out at the end. Um, when I post this, and it's like, oh, this is just 173 2.0.
Well, we'll fuck that one
Um,
up.
but yeah, not a ton of, I guess, not a ton of notable Patriots moves. But definitely some stuff to talk about. Some big things happened the day after we were done recording last week. Some trade news out there as well. But I think we have to start. Actually, you know what, Liam? I want to start on a topic that's near and dear to your heart. There was a report that came out earlier this week. So yesterday, because today is Tuesday as we're recording, that the Patriots were willing to trade your guy, Bazooka Joe Milton. But however, however, they were requesting a third round pick in return. I guess the Browns were interested, but once they found out there was a third round pick, they kind of dipped off a little bit. I saw people, like, if we're gonna be honest, I saw people getting a little bit too passionate about this because I don't think that you can have a super strong take one way or another on this.
Oh, you'd
But
be surprised.
that I was just gonna say, but if there was one person that was gonna have a strong take on this, it's gonna be you. I want to know because yeah, you'd be trading Joe Milton, but it's a third round pick. Do you think that's good enough? Is that too much? What's going on? What's your thoughts on that? He is still on the team as we record this, by the way.
What was DK Metcalf traded for again?
What was he? A third, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. And when we look at Joe Milton and we look at DK Metcalf, similar players in caliber and impact on the game. It's very, very close. So I understand the asking price. And since a quarterback is the most valuable position, I would probably ask for a third and a fourth or a third and a fifth for Milton when you can just get the. No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, dude,
And
why not just ask for a second at this point? Like, fuck it,
100%. You're right.
swap
You
first
know,
round
we
picks.
certainly could. Quarterback's the most valued position. If they got a
Mhm.
third round pick for Joe Milton, that would, I don't want to say it would be the first time I would ever see a pick valued at potential, but that would be at least the most notable or the most recent in my eyes because I love Joe Milton. I know he is a superstar. Unfortunately, he's rotting away on the bench behind Drake May, who's only okay. But there's everyone in the league saw that last game of the season where Joe Milton threw the hardest, fastest, if I can go full Donald Trump here, the fastest, the most pristine pass I've ever seen in my life. He threw the meanest pass, the fastest pass in NFL history, and everyone was ecstatic. He played fantastic because that's just how Bazooka Joe rolls. They saw that game and exploded. And now teams quarterback needy teams, desperate, terrible franchises like the Browns are willing to even humor a third round pick, even if they said no, willing to humor the idea of a third round pick for a guy that has played one game, no starters, is fascinating to me.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I
love it.
think I think it's kind of a vote of confidence for him too, because like for the Patriots to clearly have like they know it's a high asking price to ask
Yeah.
for that for him. That's
Which also tells
like
me they
that's
don't want to get
good.
rid of him.
Exactly. But it's like, you know what, but we are willing to. So if we're good, just like the stuff we were saying about all these receivers coming into the offseason, where it's like, listen, this team probably doesn't want to get rid of them. But if they are going to do it, they want, their premium idea of a trade like return. So that would be a third round pick, which I think would be awesome. Like you said, one actual full game. He did throw the hardest pass in NFL history, which is crazy.
It was a
Um,
beautiful pass, even though it didn't
it was
count.
awesome. Yeah, but it was still it was caught. That's all that matters. Like it was
Yeah.
caught out of bounds. It would have been a touchdown, whatever.
No,
Um,
no, no. It was caught in bounds. It would have been a touchdown, but there was a penalty.
that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Because
Yeah.
right as I said that, I was like, I don't think he was out of bounds because I'm pretty sure I
Yeah,
remember
no, he
him. That was the
wasn't.
whole thing. He
Pop
got his
Douglas. I
feet.
think it was Pop Douglas, but he never
Yeah, I think
gets
it
his
was
feet
too.
out of bounds,
Yeah,
unlike
but
Keyshawn Booty.
no, I think like I would definitely do it. I saw all the everybody asked online, hey, would you trade Joe Milton for a third round pick? And there were so many people that were like, no, you can't do it, blah blah blah. I'm like, buddy, it's a third round pick. That's
100%.
you can like that's a top 100 pick. Like
Yeah.
you can get some things with a third round pick. Now a fourth round pick, I don't know because there is still the potential, and I'm not team Joe Milton eventually taking over Drake May's job, but I do think that there's value in having a good young backup because I think the longer you have them, like the more that people trade on potential. So
Yes.
I think next off season you could probably get a third round pick for him. You know?
Definitely. And also, like the way I look at it purely to take Joe Milton out of it, which is super difficult to do. We got him for a seventh round pick. And literally a year after that, we could get a third round pick, possibly. It seems like at very least we can get a fourth. If
Yeah,
teams are saying no to a third, maybe we can get a fourth. But the fact that you can jump that high in value, just truly what is usually a depreciating asset. 1 year later, all of a sudden has spiked in value. And that is fucking awesome to me. So if
yeah,
that's the sense, if we're taking Joe Milton out of it, then you clearly got to do it. But then you go, like you said, what's the value of a backup quarterback? It's obviously incredible. We look at Nick
hmm
Foles, we look at Tom Brady, we look at like the best case scenario is Jeff Hostetler way back in the day for the
yeah.
Giants. Like the value of a backup quarterback is
Matt
unbelievable.
Castle, we
Yeah,
saw it when he
100%
took over.
stud.
Yep.
Yeah, fucking 10-6 and still couldn't make the playoffs by some ludicrous thing, but that wasn't Matt Castle's fault. He was a monster.
Nope.
I I get stuck with this one here because
I know you
you
do.
would,
I know you do.
yeah, it's brutal because I would never part with Joe Milton. Let it be clear, if I'm running the team, offer me two firsts, you're not getting Joe Milton. So let me state my bias here. I'm not giving up Joe Milton under
Yep.
any circumstance.
hmm
Is it undeniable value if you take the player out of it? Yes, absolutely. And you'd be stupid not to do it. I'm fucking stupid. I promise you, I will not make that trade.
That's
But
fine. Do not let the glasses fool you. We are not smart people.
100%, not even a little bit. But we're smarter than Al, and that's all that matters. But like,
Oh, well, yeah. Low bar.
yes, certainly. But with this shit, I'm losing my track. Oh, darn it. Oh, yeah. So if the
Yep.
Patriots are really valuing him enough to set his price at a third round pick, that means to, or that leads us to believe that he's valued high in the organization. They don't actually want to get rid of him unless it's for a ludicrous price. But then they sign Josh Dobbs, and you're like, okay, so you don't want Joe Milton to be your backup. So what's the fucking game plan here? Unless they're planning on Josh Dobbs being the third quarterback, which seems kind of unlikely to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just one of those things where it's like, you know what? Let's get a veteran in here. Let's keep Joe Milton. They'll probably alternate week to week. Milton might be the third quarterback. I don't know. I could see a scenario where Milton's probably going to play a lot in the preseason. Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe before week one, someone gets hurt on a team. Like I'm not wishing injury, but say someone gets
I
hurt,
am.
and then that team is scouring around practice squads or whatever. They're like, hey, Patriots, you guys wanted a third round for him. What if we give you our third round pick or our fourth round pick next year and whoever and whatever? Like you never know. It obviously won't be this year's draft. It'll be next year's, but maybe it's a situation like that, or maybe I just think he's going to build value this year, whether it's getting backup play. God forbid Drake May gets hurt again. He'll play probably. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
But here's the double-edged sword here, because say Joe Milton balls out in the preseason and then you could sell him high. Like say he just crushes the preseason. Like
Mhm.
would the Patriots go, how many games did Drake May miss, after when he with that concussion? What was it like? Did he miss a game or did he just miss the half?
He didn't miss a game. He
Okay.
was knocked out of a couple games, but he didn't miss a game,
Okay.
which is interesting. But
Yes. So like,
still,
it's not an injury history where you're like, he missed a few games in a rookie season that was already short. He didn't do that. But he did get a concussion and he almost missed a week, and he did miss half of a game.
Hmm.
And did Brissett ever have to come in one other time? I don't know if he
I think he
did.
did, if I remember correctly, but I think
Yeah.
it was a blowout type situation. But still,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
So he missed half a game with an injury. So that doesn't, it's like, it's the ultimate stuck situation here. Because if Joe Milton balls out of control, you're like, there is a slight reason to believe Drake May will be hurt, but there's also plenty of reason to believe that he won't get hurt. So what the fuck do we do here? And if his value's at an all-time high, unfortunately, I feel like they will trade him, but I certainly wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of much ado about nothing right now. It's just a topic that's been out there where, people are saying, like why would they put such a high asking price, whatever. And it's like, why they would, because they don't
Yeah,
want to trade him. That's all
yeah,
it
like
is.
you just answered your own question. Congrats.
Yeah.
And I must say we can address this on air here because I remember you had some very deep-seated angry comments when I sent a Joe Milton workout video in our Tuck Rule Takes group chat, and I just gotta say, like, are you in therapy? Is something going on at home? Like, blink twice if Nicole hits you, because I'm worried about you. You seem very angry when I sent a Joe Milton workout tape, and it was an immaculate tape, the finest tape, and you were just very despondent.
So, I'll be honest with you, Liam. I don't know if you know this, sometimes I do let my emotions get the better of me. Been kind of a tough year. Miscarriage. So
Yeah.
you want to
See,
talk?
but you're fucking
You
terrible.
gotta come on, like you gotta
Yes,
joke about.
yes,
I had that one locked
100%.
and loaded
But
too.
but Joe Milton was not responsible for this miscarriage, and you're
As
taking
far
all
as you know, do
all
you
your
know that?
energy. No, I do not. But
Exactly.
unless Joe Milton bombed that unborn child like that football in that video, which I will tell you again went 80 yards, just fucking
So you're
heave that
saying
thing.
he threw the baby?
I will tell you, it went 80 yards. Unless he's responsible for that, I just don't think any of this anger, miscarriage or otherwise, which again sounds like not a fun time.
10
If
out of 10, do not recommend, by the
if
way.
I'm penciling in life experiences, miscarriage is not on there. You
Skip that
know,
one, man.
I plan to
It's
have
cool.
a clean childbirth. I want to, plump up, and I want C-section. I want it clean out of me almost immediately. So it's not on my list. But, it's not Bazooka Joe's
Uh,
fault. It's
yeah, I
Goodwill
know. You
Hunting.
know
It's not
what?
your fault, Will.
You know, you know what it is? I think you must have just caught me at a bad time.
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't even
so.
remember what I said because it was said out of
You
anger.
said
It's
I
just you said,
fucking hate Joe Milton. Word for word. I
oh
have it
yeah,
in my
I said
notes.
no, no.
Yeah.
I said I need Joe Milton off this fucking team.
Yes, 100%. That was it.
And that
Okay.
stems from my hatred for you because I don't
Yes.
want to hear
Okay.
you
See,
talk about him. So
now we're
that's what
getting
it
down
is.
to the nitty-gritty here.
It's not
Now
Joe
we're
Milton.
getting
It's you.
somewhere. Okay.
You're the
Okay.
problem.
See, now we're getting somewhere here. This is a solvable problem. We keep Joe
Yeah.
Milton on the team, and you and Al run the show. And I will
Okay.
start a separate pro Joe Milton podcast without your slander and
It'll
your
be just
unneeded,
Joe
deep-seated
Milton,
anger.
Joe Pros. That's what it'll be
Joe
called.
Bros. Yeah, Joe
Um,
Bros.
Yeah, yeah, no, just to wrap up the Joe Milton thing. I mean, listen, I'm open to
You
trading
don't
him.
have to.
I'm not eager to trade him, but I'm definitely open to it. As long as you get some sort of a good return, third round pick would be great.
Yes.
But if
It
not,
would have to
keep
be
him.
a price that you cannot refuse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a fourth round pick at this point, I say no. Like just we're good. Like
I want
we'll
third.
keep him.
The asking price is now third. If you come at me with a second, that's a price I can't refuse. If you come at me with a third, I'll
Yeah,
ponder it over.
exactly, exactly. So, but as we record, he is still on the team. I don't see him getting traded. But
Me neither.
barring
Why
some
would you do
crazy
that?
trade proposal or whatever. But speaking of trade proposal, actually, before we get to a trade proposal, I do want to shout out two websites here. Couch Guy Sports, as you guys know, we've been with them for 173, maybe 173 episodes. Um, Go check them out. Again, Couch Guy Sports, Tuck Rule Takes. We are on there. We are not the only thing that's on there. If you like the Celtics, which if you like sports, if you like New England sports, I'm sure you like the Celtics as well. They are currently playing Brooklyn as we speak. Jason Tatum's out. Damn it. The fucking hospital Celtics playing right now. But yeah, Couch Guy Sports, the Rafters Pod, which Liam actually hosts another podcast. He's got two.
Another one.
He's got two. That little brain has two
Can you believe
podcasts
it?
floating around in it.
I
It is
don't know.
crazy. It's good.
Don't know
Take
how
a
to
listen.
manage.
Go on there. Go listen to that. Live both back to back, whatever you want to do at the same time if you want, however you want to do it.
That's
Um,
confusing. It's a lot of me.
Not only Couch Guy, and never enough. I still
No.
hate you. Joe Milton. Sports Spider with a Y, Spyder. You've heard me say it before. You can listen to it anywhere at the gym if you're just working or on the trail, wherever you want to listen to it. Go to Sports Spider, go to the NFL tab, go to the Patriots. You'll see us right there. If it's the midweek, you'll see us on there right at the top. If not, scroll down a little bit. You'll see us on there. Take a listen. Look at everything else on there. A bunch of stuff going on that site as well. So thank you to Couch Guy Sports and Sports Spider. But Liam, we were talking about trades real quick. And before we just talk about the Patriots news that they've done in the last week since we've recorded, I don't know where this came from, but I woke up this morning and I saw that it came from Sports Illustrated, actually. I see it right on the picture. It says crazy trade proposal, which I guess a lot of people are saying is actually a little bit more realistic. But I want to ask you just real quick, doesn't even have to be long, but Brandon Aiyuk obviously is a guy that the Patriots want. Supposedly, that's the Niners don't want, I guess, to pay his contract, so they got to get rid of him by April 1st, or else they owe him like $23 million or something like that. So I saw this trade come across. I just wanted to get your take on it. It was the Niners and the Patriots. They swapped their first round picks. So the Niners would move up to 4. We'd move back to 11. It's not crazy. Still there, out of the top 10, but we'd be there. But we would also get their second round pick, which is the 43rd pick. We currently have the 38th pick. So you'd have kind of relatively close picks there. And you would also get Brandon Aiyuk. So essentially, you'd be basically just getting Brandon Aiyuk in a second round pick and moving back a few spots in the first round. Is that something you would be open to doing? A lot of discourse about this morning. A lot of it,
There
both good and
is.
bad.
Oh, the draft seems still so good in the middle of the first round because you said it's a pick swap, right? So we're moving from 4 to 11.
Yep. Yep. 4 to 11. We're not losing a pick or anything like that. All we're doing is
Yeah,
gaining a second round pick.
it's interesting. I I'm not sold on Brandon Ayuk. Like I think he's fine. I don't think he's a
Mm-hmm.
number one receiver. I don't want to get a number two. It's the same reason I didn't want T. Higgins. Like I want somebody who's clearly a stud, clearly a number one, or at least somebody that was a number one fairly recently, like Devontae Adams, where they still carry a lot of weight and a lot of name to it. Like
DK
I
Metcalf is the other one. Yep.
yeah, DK Metcalf, Cooper Cup, any of those that like even if they're not a number one now, they're fringe or they were a number one like a year or two
Yep.
ago. Like
Mhm.
I want somebody who's like just on the outside of the bubble. And I don't think Brandon Ayuk, even when he was sick, well, not last year technically, but the year before, the year the Niners went to the Super Bowl, which he was awesome, like deep threat. He was a monster. He was the better receiver out of the two of them. But like it's a running football team. I don't believe in our run game enough to get him as open as he was with them. He
Mhm.
was pretty atrocious before he got his torn ACL last year. He was fucking awful, if you remember.
Yeah, yeah.
And
He
you
was out
know,
of shape because he held out too. A lot of people forget. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
he had a bunch of terrible drops. I remember an awful one in the end zone for an early Niners game.
Yes. So he'd fit in perfect on the Patriots.
Yeah, so he would. It does seem like a seamless transition. He doesn't catch the ball. We don't catch the fucking ball. It's a match made in heaven. But yeah, like I don't know. It's just you could talk me into the picks and the pick swaps and stuff like that, but for Brandon Ayuk, I'm just less psyched about it.
Yeah, I think I'd probably land there. I was thinking about this Brandon Ayuk thing. You know what it reminds me of? The Calvin Ridley saga last year, where
Yeah.
we all like like, do not get me wrong.
Yes.
I would take any of these receivers that we've talked about this year, last year, whatever on the team. We all like Calvin Ridley, but I think it just when it's the off season and there's only a certain amount of like known receivers available, they almost get pushed to the top or pushed to a tier that they don't belong in. Like who
Yeah.
was it was
And
what, a
I
few
I
years
actually
ago? It
like
was other
Calvin Ridley
people
more
too.
than Ayuk, oddly enough, but I know exactly what you're
Mm,
talking about.
yeah.
But yes, a couple years ago there was a set of
I'm trying to think of
receivers
the two
for
names, and they turned out and like they didn't like nothing. I think one went to the Broncos, if I remember. It wasn't Cortland Sutton. It was someone went to the
Jerry
Broncos. I
Jeudy.
forget. Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. Everybody talking
Yeah,
about Like he's a good receiver. Do not
he's
get me wrong.
fine.
Good
Yeah, he
receiver,
had a
fast
particularly
guy.
good year last year, but like before then he sucked.
people were talking about him though, like he was this, like he was the number. And I think that's now carried to Calvin Ridley, that's carried to Brandon Aiyuk, all good receivers, but it's just kind of like, when you're, and I'm gonna sound like a very shallow guy real quick, but it's almost like when you're out at the bar and you're like, I gotta go home soon, I gotta get someone. So you lower
Yeah.
your standards. I think that the Patriots in the NFL as a whole are lowering their standards on what a
Yeah.
number one
It's the
receiver
end of the
would be.
night. You're just trying to clean up.
And that's what's going on. Brandon DK Metcalf gone. Cooper Cup
Yeah.
gone. T Higgins gone. Chris
Yeah.
Godwin gone. So Brandon Ayuk
Caleb
still
Carr.
an attractive
Yeah.
person.
You're like,
Like,
like he could be a number one. Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. You're
Like
like, I still it still gets up. That's fine.
day five of free agency, I'll slide a low offer. Maybe no one will notice. Nobody
Exactly.
will look check the waiver wires and see that I picked up. Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah,
fucking yeah.
yeah. The thing with Brandon Ayuk too, he's not going to be ready to start the year. He's not. He'll probably be
Is it
ready a
that
few
bad?
weeks in, which is like
Jeez.
that's another thing that
That's even
like I
worse.
could already see it too. If the Patriots did get him, the next day you'd hear, oh, you got your receiver, but he's not even going to be ready for the like whatever. Okay,
Yeah, a
for
hundred
that
percent.
reason alone, I'm out. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
and
want to
the
deal
dude
with
was
that.
out of shape last season, and now he has
Mhm.
an injury. Like, what kind of shape is he going to be in now,
Yeah,
dude?
he's going to be like Debo. He's going to be like
Yeah,
Debo side, little chunky Debo. Yeah,
yeah, we don't want that.
yeah. So I mean, I think the rumors around the league are that the Patriots they're still gonna kind of sniff around for trades or whatever, maybe kick the tires on some free agents, but I guess the rumors are that they're really waiting for the draft to take care of receiver.
Which is
And really the
magic to
moves that
me.
they haven't done. And I know as we get closer to the draft, I can't wait to talk
Yeah,
about the draft and the
I'm
options the
itching
Pats
for
have
it. What
there.
is it? April 20th?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah, I think somewhere like that. Well, April 20th is what, Easter, so it's
20.
got to be right around there.
Oh, the
Yeah, yeah,
Thursday after April, the
yeah,
20th.
yeah. Got to be right there. But either way, we're getting close. There's so many options for the Patriots. But yeah, I wouldn't do this. But if the move is gonna get done, they're gonna move him before April 1st because they don't
Yeah.
want to pay the 23 million bucks. So maybe you wait them out. And if they lower their asking price just to pick swap, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, that's what we're doing. Actually, if we do a pick swap, maybe you give us another pick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like we would have to work out in this deal. Like we would have
Yeah,
to have the clear advantage because they gave away everyone else for pennies. Like they're giving away Debo for jack
everyone.
shit.
Everyone. But
Yeah.
yet they signed Kyle Juszczyk though.
Fucking devastating. Of course.
Stupid.
The one guy I
Stupid.
really fucking wanted, of
Team
course.
sucks and you're signing
Yeah.
fullbacks. Get out of here.
Well,
Dumb.
I would too.
Dumb.
But
But yes, I was just curious. Yeah, and that's where I am. I'm kind of like I want Ayuk, but like listen, my guy was DK or Chris Godwin. Those are my two. And then T. Higgins was there too. T. Higgins, by the way, just signed a huge
bag
contract with
man.
Jamar Chase, so they're gonna be there. I guess just real quick touch on that. Let's just be very honest here. A lot of Patriots fans are being a little envious and sour grapes talking about it because they're like, oh, the Bengals, they're going to have no defense. They suck. They're so dumb. Listen here, buddy. You would do that same thing if you
Dude,
could.
thank you for taking this
Like,
point because that was going to be my stance as well.
come on.
Like, I see everyone hating, and I'm like, you're pissed because you don't have a franchise quarterback and two stud wide receivers. Like, I don't
Yes.
even think T. Higgins is a monster, but he's a perfect number two for Jamar. Like, they're
Perfect.
monsters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
That's my take too.
jealous. Yeah,
Yeah.
sour grapes.
Yeah. It definitely comes out of jealousy. But I do also, if you do want to look at a certain thing, that bill has to come due and has to fuck them over at some point though, because they
It
really
might
like
not.
their
Like,
defense is not good and they're not doing any like for the amount that the Patriots have neglected their offense, the Bengals have done the same thing to the defense, especially if
yeah,
they lose Trey Hendrickson.
yeah,
So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, good for them though. But I do want it out there. Everybody who's saying like this is such a dumb move, I can't believe it. Shut up. Okay.
yeah.
Whatever team you root for, you are just jealous that you're rolling out there with like a number two receiver as your number one at best or something. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
especially the Patriots. Like we look at our receiving core, we look at
Yes.
theirs, and we're like, we're not in the same stratosphere. Like we're not even close.
No, no, like that. And that's the thing. I see a lot of Patriots fans. Such a dumb move. T. Higgins left so much money on the table. He could have came to New England. Yeah, but you know what? He's eating there. He's fine.
Yeah,
Like he's good. He probably doesn't. Dude,
He
if
went to a Super Bowl
honestly,
like 2 years ago. I think he's good.
exactly. I wouldn't want to go. If I could be a number two, Jamar Chase takes all the number one corners. He takes all the headlines. I just get
Yep.
to go against the number two corner. And like, I'm still
Yep.
good. So I know that I'll have good games. I'm staying here too. I'm not going to go help a
Yeah.
rebuild. Even though
No.
Drake May's cool, I'm not going to
Yeah.
go help a rebuild with
100%.
the Pats.
No.
In the
Sounds like a
cold,
lot of unnecessary work
well,
when Joe
Cincinnati's
Burrow's
cool
going to
too.
give me the rock. Yeah, Cincinnati sucks. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
And also,
So,
like in the grand scheme of things, like everything went wrong for them on defense last year. It was like the ultimate. I say that their defense can't be, as bad or fall upon such great misfortune like they did last year, but it happened to Drew Brees for about 10 straight years. But like
yeah,
truly, like I don't think they can keep, you know, letting their defense outscore their offense. I think it's almost physically impossible.
that'd be a crazy feat, though.
Yeah.
That'd be a
I mean,
crazy
hey, it
feat.
happened with Drew Brees, so you never know.
Don't get me wrong. Deep down, I want them to be the team that they put up points. They can't stop anybody. They miss the playoffs. Like that's what I want, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do still think they'll be good. I don't think they'll be able to. They'll have to have a consistently good offensive year to make the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
who knows if they can? We'll see. But yeah, the T Higgins dream is dead. Chris Godwin dream is dead. DK Metcalf's dead. Everybody's dead. So it's basically Brandon Ayuk or Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs. So I don't know. We'll see. At this point, I kind of want the Patriots just to go to the draft and just get someone in the draft. That's what I want. Get a young
Yeah.
guy, go grow with Drake May, and just go from there. I think Patriots fans think that you need immediately like a number one receiver, a number one this, number one that. And it's like these guys get there because they get drafted and then they play. Like that's how these moves happen. So I don't know, because you see everybody freaking out. There's no receiver, there's no left tackle. Everybody
Yep.
calm down.
We have a lot of holes. It's
Yeah.
not going to be fixed all in
Yeah.
this offseason.
Yeah. And
It's
we fixed a lot of them.
impossible.
We fixed
Yeah,
a good
we
amount.
did damn good. Our defense looks really serviceable to good.
It does. It does. And I think unless you want to touch on that or touch anything else before we just get to all the Patriots moves that they did since we last recorded.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Let's get to the
Cool.
moves.
Cool. First and foremost, on a sad note, David Andrews got released the day after we recorded. I think that was a shock for a lot of reasons. Yeah, okay. Liam's giving a moment of silence. I will be inconsiderate and talk through that moment of silence. It was, let me just get out in front of it. It was due to a failed physical. So it
Is
was
that
either that.
official?
Yeah. Yeah. The like all the reporters, I guess like the team hasn't said it yet, but all the reporters are saying that's what it was. I guess he wasn't, it was either going to be that or retirement. Those were going to be the only two things that I would have that me personally that I would have been okay with. Yeah, David Andrews came in undrafted, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. An undersized center as well, which is going to come into play with someone the Patriots just signed. But yeah, just really we talk about the Devin McCourties, the Matthew Slaters. You want to go back further, the Teddy Bruschies, the Vince Wilforks, the Mike Vrabels. Hey, that's a name everybody knows. The Julian Edelmans. David Andrews belongs in that tier. Whatever the highest tier of Patriots players is, former players, current players, David Andrews is there. You want to put him up there with your Gronks, with whatever. I don't count Brady because he's kind of
Yeah.
an elite
Tier of
at
his
whatever,
own.
and quarterback's different. But I mean, Andrews, that's a top five Patriot in my eyes. Just so many moments, but also very underrated because he's a center,
Yeah.
you know? Like no one
100%.
like no one's gonna give linemen their flowers. Like what linemen do you know? Like other than the ones from the Eagles, Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Tyrone
Yeah.
Smith from the
They get all
Cowboys,
their
I guess.
flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't really know anybody. But David Andrews, yeah, that shoulder injury really fucked him up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that he's retiring. And I don't wish this on him, but I want him to retire. I don't want him to play for anybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, just create another whole thoughts on David Andrews. You want to wax poetically, whatever you want to, wherever you want to take it.
Yeah, like just really seemed like such a cool dude who happened to be a really hard worker at football. Like, not somebody who was maybe the most blessed athletically, although I don't think he was a poor athlete by any means. He went to Georgia. I don't understand why he was undrafted, but that's Bill Belichick going in there,
Mm-hmm.
finding a fucking gem. And of course, like David Andrews, just a complete, utter professional. Liked his fair bit of talking shit, but the most part, he was quiet, stoic, led by example. He was an anchor for this Patriots team well after the Tom Brady years. We were worried about every position in the book, but we were never worried about center. And for those 2 years before that fucking cheap shot hit on the Bears 2 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for 2000 from 19 to 22, that peace of mind, just that we don't have to worry about center. And even like, no matter how shitty this offensive line may be, like David Andrews is going to prop some people up and it'll be serviceable. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he was arguably the biggest reason that Mac Jones's offensive line was good that year we went to the playoffs. Like, that peace of mind alone for those years after, he deserves all the credit in the world for that. And for that, he's an all-time Patriot in my book. I absolutely love the guy. Party animal. And it's
Yeah.
fucking devastating that he's gone. It really sucks that it's a shoulder injury, no less. Like it
Yeah.
just
Like,
has to be like, because he was gone in a flash. Like week 4 against the Niners, he's there and then he's gone. We're like, oh, next year he'll be back, and he wasn't. And then the year before, then he gets that fucking cheap shot concussion against
mhm.
the Bears, and it kind of all seems to go off the rails from there. I don't think he ever came back from that
Well, he had blood
that
clots
season.
too, right? A couple of years before that, didn't he? Didn't David
Yeah,
Andrews get the blood
pulmonary
clots too?
embolism.
Yeah.
Is that
So
yeah?
he's been going through it the last few years.
Yeah, so he was out the 2019 season.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Those were blood clots. Then he came back. He got hurt again, like you said. Came back, kept going. Then the shoulder
yeah.
thing in week 4, and it just
And it's just such
hit.
an inglorious end to such an incredible career. You're like,
Yeah,
damn, it just had
yeah.
to be a fucking injury, and he was never able to get back.
Even if this was going to be his last year, it still would have been a. I feel like this would have been a valiant year to go out. You know, year 2 behind Drake May. He always
Yeah.
talked highly about him. Josh McDaniels is coming back, so he knows
Yeah.
that offense. He could have helped, and it sucks, man. Like he was the longest tenured New England like he was the longest guy.
Yeah.
Now it's Joe Cardona and Jawan Bentley. If
Yep.
I remember correctly. Yeah, it was also a tough week because I know you don't like hockey as much, but Brad Marchand from the Bruins got traded too. So it's like a new era in New England sports. Like I know Brady
Yeah.
was only 5 years ago,
The Marshawn thing was suspect. I don't know shit about hockey, but I'm like,
but
damn, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
whenever you
like
have
how
the
could you do
captain,
that?
whenever you have the C on your chest, like Andrews did too,
Yeah.
that's a big thing, man. And it just sucks. I mean, it definitely doesn't make the team any less likable. I think that we'll talk more about it as we get closer to the season, but I do think this team is going to be very likable this year. It seems to
Yeah.
be a lot of even some guys that we brought in, Carlton Davis, Morgan Moses, Spillane seems like a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
Milton Williams just seems like a killer, just like him and Keon White. And then Drake May, obviously, very, very likable, but just damn, man. You think of David Andrews, you think of him with his shirt off on the parade. On the I forget after what Super Bowl because we won so many.
Yeah. One of the
Um,
three.
but damn, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. It really, really does. And like, I don't mean to wish it on him, but I hope he retires, man. I want him to
Yeah.
have just like the Julian Edelman career, just like the
Because then I'll be pissed that he
Patriots.
passed a physical with another team, but he couldn't pass it for us. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
that'll
fucking
bring up a
physical were
lot of
you
stuff.
running?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it's like, well, why did he fail with the Patriot?
Here.
Like, was it too
Yeah.
soon? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it sucks. I mean, David Andrews definitely he's going to be the picture of the podcast this week when I post it. So
Yeah.
gotta
Gotta
be.
be.
So sucks, man. Sucks. Obviously Al, by the way, too, sends his condolences to David Andrews
Yeah.
as well. Obviously, we're all sad about it,
Yeah.
but anything else on David Andrews, DA, before we officially move on forever?
No. David Andrews sends his condolences to Al too for missing this show.
He he does. All right. Let's get into maybe some more positive stuff. The Patriots made another cluster of signings. I saw a tweet today where I get to say I saw a tweet and I'm talking to someone who I know did not see that tweet. So this is
Definitely did
great.
not see this read. I promise
Someone
you.
said got only the Patriots, like they had a flurry of signings one day and it's been fucking radio silent since. No, no, no. There's
We're
been
not done.
some decent signings, and also that's how free agency is. Like,
Yeah.
would you rather them like parse out their signings like for you? Like it just
Yeah.
whatever. Fans just suck. But the Patriots made one, two, three, four signings. The last one was Matt Collins, which we spoke about. The first one that we'll talk about, I think one I've always like I've forgotten about this guy, but whenever he's brought up, I remember him because I just remember his last name. Is it Clevon Chasen? How do you
Yeah.
say it? Did I say
Chase
it right?
on.
Chase on?
Chase
Yeah.
on.
Signed him to a 1 year, $5 million deal. Former first round pick in 2019, if I remember correctly. That was the
Yeah.
year. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in on him. Coming from the Raiders. Yeah, this is just a good rotational piece. Like
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it. He can rush the passer too. His numbers aren't gonna pop out at you, but they're not meant to. Like
No.
he is here for a depth piece. If he has to start here and there, whatever, he has the talent, he has the skill to be able to play. He's a professional. I like it. This is an A signing to me. How do you feel about it?
Oddly enough, I can't believe he got to us.
Yeah, right?
It's not like he's a fucking world mover by any means, but his numbers have been steadily improving. 2 years ago, he had 2 sacks. This past year, he jumped to five. He had his first interception this past year. He had the most passes defensed with two, which is double his career high before then of one the year before. And he had his first forced fumble last year. So while he's
There you
not like
go.
stuffing the stat sheet, like he had clear improvement. Last year was clear by far and away his best season. And he only started 4 games, played in 15 of them. But those are pretty all right stats. 5 sacks in 4 games started and 15
Take 5 sacks.
games played total. Yeah, 100. That's Dietrich Wise numbers. Like that's what we were getting with Dietrich Wise, and we just signed this guy on day 12 or whatever it is of free
Mm-hmm.
agency. Like it's so I'll fucking take it. Yeah, I can't believe he got to us. I find it strange that no one was going after him. 8 QB hits too. Like I look at his stats, there's no reason not to. And the film looks pretty good too. He's kind of awkward, runs standing up, which isn't ideal, but like he's shaky and he gets there.
Which isn't ideal. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like I view listen, like anytime this comes up or you sign these pieces, Patriots fans are in no position to poo-poo depth signings. We literally saw last year what happens when you have no good depth on your team
Yeah.
on both sides of the ball, but especially on defense. With Bentley, linebackers, Duggar, no pass rush, Judon gone. You have to have someone step up. They get hurt. It's a rookie. It's a young guy. This is a good piece. There's nothing to be upset about. Money,
Yeah.
who cares? Patriots have a ton of it. He's a good player. It's 1 year. There's nothing to complain about. And like you
Yeah.
said, 5 sacks last year. Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember liking him out of LSU. I saw him play live actually, and he's a
Yeah.
fucking perfectly
Just add
solid player.
talent, dude.
Yeah.
Add people who can play.
Yeah.
That's it.
And who knows? Like if he's on the upswing, fucking for the money we're paying him and the value we got him at late in free agency as we did, fucking hell, maybe he busts off 7 sacks and has a career year for us. Even if he goes and gets paid somewhere else afterwards, we got this guy for almost nothing, and now he's balling.
Yeah, dude. All I see is he has the talent to where if he's going against a lesser blocker or something. So say you
Yeah.
got people taking up Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, Keon White on the other side. This guy has the ability to get to the quarterback going against a tight end
Yes.
or whoever he's going against. And that's all
Yeah.
you want.
He was a
He
first
might
round
not
pick
have a
for a
bunch of
reason.
numbers.
He's got all the
Yes.
measurables. He doesn't have the production, but he's got the measurables that
Yeah.
people said we can invest a first round pick in him. Granted, it was the Jaguars. They're not smart, but they still did it.
They did. And he has the talent. Good signing, 1 year, 5 million. I like it. Keep adding depth. And I know, like, even to the point where like when the reporters post that the Patriots signed people, it's like another defensive player. Listen, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, good.
I don't care.
Take him.
Load up on defense because on offense, there's only so much stuff you can do. Your tight ends are set. Your running back is set. You might get another one. Receiver and left tackle. That's
Yeah.
all you need on off. You need on offense right now. So, yeah, I'm cool with him. I like that he's here. Great, awesome. Next signing, Wes Schweitzer, offensive lineman. Signed him for 1 year. He's a guard in the center. He's another depth piece. So he can start if he has to, like in a pinch. He's not like a great starter, but he's just someone who you can have as like a swing guard, whatever you want, a swing lineman. Just a veteran back there who can just add more depth to it, which as we saw last year, depth is very, very important at the offensive line position.
Yeah.
So get him in. I'm fine with it. I don't know what the money is. I don't care. I'm looking at it now. I don't know if the money hasn't been reported or not, but I just don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, it's probably
Um,
not even worth reporting on.
yeah, but just like 1 year, whatever. I don't care what it is. Get him in
Yeah.
here. Cool. He can start at center in a pinch. He can start at guard in a pinch, or he can just be a backup. Say someone gets nicked up, he can come in for half the game, whatever it is. I don't care. You need depth at a lot of positions.
Yeah.
That's what he is. So, any thoughts on him at all?
I would have liked a big name. Couldn't really
Mhm.
find anything on his performance or how he
No.
did. Don't even have much to say about him. Probably, hopefully, in a perfect world, won't get a lot of playing time. Or in a
Nope.
perfect world, if he's fucking balling out, then obviously I would like him to. But yeah, like it's a lineman. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a great, awesome depth piece. Cool. Have him in here. I don't care. Like it is what it is. Maybe he'll be a practice squad guy. Not enough to have like see, isn't this like a novel concept? You don't have to have a strong opinion on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So sometimes you
cool.
could just be like, cool. Literally, you could be like, that's a signing. That is most certainly a signing.
Yep, that is a player. So he is
Yeah.
here. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Um, the next guy who I think you and I were the most excited about this. I know Al was cool with it too, but safety from the Raiders, Marcus Epps, one
Yeah.
year, 4.4 million. I like this one. I think this might be my favorite of like the four signings the Patriots have made since last week. Um, yeah, I have nothing bad to say about it. He's a good player. He can start if he has to. He's gonna get playing time. He is
Yeah.
100% going to get playing time. Marcus Epps, I know you like this signing as well, right?
Yeah. Big time. Dude, great tackler. Great
Yes.
tackler. Fucking
Yes.
loves to tackle.
Loves to tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, dude, there's nothing bad to say about these like depth signings that the Patriots are doing. That's awesome. He'll rotate in there here and there. I'm sure the Patriots might draft a safety too, probably a little later as well. Just because Peppers is going to be moving on. But yeah, nice signing. He came over from the Raiders, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Which I thought this was funny too. In the little introductory press conference the Patriots had for introducing their like big four free or big five free agents, they asked Mike Vrabel. They were like, what'd you think, or like, can you comment on, you're bringing in a lot of Titan, previous players that you've coached and all that stuff. Just comment on that. And Vrabel was like, I don't see how you can do free agency any other way.
Yeah.
Makes
In his
sense.
press conference, I did like
Yeah.
that, where it's just very direct, where he's like, well, I know what I'm getting with the guy. So
Yeah. And he's like, listen, man, I don't want to say it. You don't want to say it, but no one really wants to come here that bad right now. So all I
yeah.
can do is just kind of like, go to my,
Go to the players
go
that
to
know me.
my, what are they called? The things you put on your resume. Go to your, the things at the bottom of the resume, not your
Oh,
accomplishment.
references.
Go to your references.
Yeah.
Just go. Yep.
There we
We're
go.
going to get Harold Landry. Come on over. Marcus Epps.
Yeah.
Come on over. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's get Matt Collins, Josh McDaniels, get him over here.
Yeah.
Why not?
I really liked Marcus Epps when he was on the Birds too. He had a
He
pick in a
was on the
game.
Birds, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was awesome. He had a great hit stick and pick all in the same play on McKissick, the number 41 running back for the Skins.
Yep.
JD McKissick maybe. But
Yep.
it
JD
was when
McKissick.
Alex Smith ended up beating the Eagles when Doug Peterson pulled all the starters, and then the Redskins ended up making the playoffs with Alex Smith. He won comeback player of the year. It was a brutal game, but Marcus Epps had the highlight of that game with that pick, hit stick pick, almost a pick six, got tackled at the goal line. But like he can play. Most of his highlights are hits. And if we got a guy that can fucking tackle, that's more than okay with me. We got enough ball hawks on this team, not worried about it. Carlton Davis going to be hawking for the football.
Yep.
Christian Gonzalez is good for at least 3 picks a year.
Yep.
At one point in our life and in our history of being a Patriots fan, Kyle Duggar was known for getting a lot of interceptions.
Remember
And we
that?
can't, yeah, it was
Mm,
a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive. So
mm.
I hope we can get back to that. And we know Jabril Peppers has got a nose for cocaine, toxic women, and footballs. So he's covering all the boards that we want in a football player.
He'll be there. Yeah. Marcus Epps, good signing. Great. Add him to that backfield. I'm cool with it. Help your offense by making sure they don't have to score that many points, which is what Vrabel's doing here. But there was an offensive signing, another one. I know, two. It's crazy. Garrett Bradbury actually happened today. He got released by the Vikings. Everybody was saying, or the rumor mills were a buzz saying that the Patriots should be looking into him. The Patriots should be signing him. But those same people were also saying he's not that good. So it's like you just there's just no winning. But Garrett Bradbury, 10-year vet. He's a center from the Vikings. They released him. He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal here. The scuttlebutt on him is that they release him because they think he is too undersized to handle the bigger defensive tackles that the NFL is kind of like moving towards, which I said when we first started, I don't mind undersized centers. David Andrews, Ryan Wendell. You remember Ryan Wendell,
I
former
love
Patriots
Ryan
center?
Window.
Mike Reese, probably the only credible Patriots reporter, said that that's who he reminded him of when he was looking at film. So he's
Oh.
not tremendous at pass blocking, but he's pretty good at run blocking. I think he was ranked like 14th on PFF Pro Football
14th
Focus,
at run
which
blocking, yeah.
yeah, which I mean, use that. People use it when it works. People don't use it when it doesn't work. Either way, I think that he is a good signing. He's probably going to be your starting center, unless Cole Strange or Jake Andrews beats him out. Um, but yeah, Garrett Bradbury coming over from the Vikings. He's a veteran. That's really all that matters. You want to get veterans on this team with the young guys. It's probably going to be like a 1-year deal because I'm pretty sure they can get out of it after this year. But yeah, this looks like this is going to be our starting center. So, how are you feeling about that, Liam?
I like it. It's fine. He's a name that I know, oddly enough, as an offensive lineman, where I don't know a bunch of them, but I have, been aware of Garrett Bradbury for
Mm-hmm.
a while. I like it. I certainly don't mind the undersized thing. Like, don't care at all. I don't
No.
care about Will Campbell's small arms. I don't care about Garrett Bradbury's frame. I don't
Nope.
mind. The only thing that worries me is just something that once again we don't need on the Patriots is his injury concerns. They seem to be plentiful. He missed a bunch of games 2 years ago, missed plenty of games last year, and now like we're getting another guy who's older each year and just seems to be missing more and more time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably why, his run blocking was a 14, which is great, but his pass blocking I think was 55th out of
Yep.
64 if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I think both those numbers can be skewed by the fact that he's been injured and hasn't played a lot. Like maybe his run blocking was that good because he only played so few games, and maybe his pass blocking was so bad because he only played that few games.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So I think those do skew the numbers. And depending on what the injuries were, I didn't look into it, but not psyched that we're getting another injury prone lineman. But
My,
what can I do?
yeah. Look, my thing with him is, you know what? When you so he was on the Vikings. How long was he on the Vikings for? Let's see what happens when he uses it. So he was on there from 2019. So last year actually, so he didn't miss any games last year.
Did he not?
Oh, am I
What
looking at
was
the
I
wrong
just looking
person?
at?
Garrett Bradbury, offensive lineman. Yeah, he didn't miss any. So it was 2023 when he missed like 4 games, or so. And then 2022, he missed games as well. So he only played
Okay.
14 games in 23. He played 12 games in 22.
Yeah, I guess that's
But then
not
he
so
played
bad then. Those
13.
are all still pretty good.
So my thing with him though, he was a center on a team that since he's been there, the Vikings have had a good offense. Right?
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever looked at the Vikings or even just thinking about the Vikings now, we're like, oh yeah, they always had like such crazy offensive line issues, or their snapping was bad, or Sam Dar
yeah,
whoever, Kirk Cousins, Sam Dar they always got pressure right up the middle. So like I know that stats are important. I get it, but I think you kind of got to add context too, where like, I don't know, man, he was a part of a team where the offense was fine. So like you can't have a bunch of A graded offensive. These aren't the Eagles. These aren't the Cowboys for the last like 10 years or so. Like these aren't like your tremendous, like you really only have at most a handful of great offensive lines in the NFL. Otherwise, like you're kind of like you have a couple really good stalwarts in there, and then you have a couple, middling, decent, good linemen.
yeah,
So, like, I don't know. So I'm fine with him being the center. Like, I kind of looked up. He doesn't have a history of like bad snaps, bad whatever. Like he's great at
yeah.
shotgun snaps, I guess. Cool.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm down
Fucking
with it.
it's a center. Yeah, and it's a name that we know. The play that I remember him most from, and it's probably the only reason I know his name, is did you ever see his reception in 2021? He caught a pass.
The
It
tip
was
or
deflected.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yep.
so a guy runs over the
Yep.
middle, gets bundled, it goes back, and he literally does the immaculate reception, reaches down and catches it and runs
Yeah.
it for the
And
first
he
down.
had some speed too. He just took it and ran.
Yeah,
It was
it
crazy.
it was super sweet. So like you love to see a lineman make small guy plays, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was good. I'm happy with it. Let me tell you. So far I think the Patriots right side of their line is all set. You have Bradbury at center, you have Michael Nwenu at right guard, then you have Morgan Moses at right tackle. I think if you're going to be running to that right side, this team's going to be able to run there all day. Shit, maybe you put I don't know, you put someone I don't know, you put Trey Jacobs out there too as like a
yeah.
sixth lineman. I think you have a really good thing there
We don't want
on
him
the
on the field.
no, no, we really don't. On the left side, Layden Robinson's probably going to be your left guard, which I'm willing to give him another shot. I think he's a solid.
Where's Strange at?
There's potential. He could be left guard as well. I think he could be your left guard too. So I'm fine with that. Or he might beat out Bradbury at center. I don't know. Like I'm fine with him
Yeah,
being anywhere. But yeah. So okay, if you want to throw Strange at left guard, so it's really
yeah,
left tackle because we're
yeah.
not going to roll into this season with
Yeah,
fucking
that's the
Vidarian Low.
glaring issue. Yeah, we
It
can't do
is.
that.
But the good thing is though, there's a lot of options in the draft. There's a
Yeah,
few they could get in the first round. There's a few in the second round. Like I know that it's unnerving right now for a lot of fans to look at this team and be like, okay, but we saw how bad the offensive line was last year. Let me tell you, this offensive line is already better than it was last year. Like just obviously on paper. Like the center, you would assume the center at worst is a wash. The right tackle is a lot better because Morgan
yeah,
Moses is very solid. You have Mike Nwenu who can actually do a whole offseason, whole preseason at right guard. So that's going to be better.
I
Left
agree.
guard, Cole Strange is very good at left guard. So assuming he plays there, or Layden Robinson. So at the very worst, it's going to be a wash. So you really just have to take care of left tackle. So the offensive line is already a little better than it was last year. So I don't know. I am very content and happy with the moves the Patriots have made so far. I know that we want them to do more things. To their credit, other than DK Metcalf, they tried to add at receiver, just couldn't get it done. They tried to add at left tackle, Ronnie Stanley, but he obviously
Right.
went back to the Ravens. Rumors are that the Patriots are going to kick the tires on Cam Robinson. I would take that. Like he's not a A plus left tackle. He's an upgrade over what you have. So I mean
Anything's an upgrade
The
over what we
Vikings
have.
traded for him mid-season from the Jags because they thought they were going on a Super Bowl run and they wanted to get him. So I don't know. Seems like a guy I'd be happy with them taking. Or if they want to draft someone. I don't care. But either way, I think this team is set up pretty well for the draft. Um, and yeah, that was kind of it. Any kind of final thoughts on free agency? Anything else you wanted to touch on at all?
We covered all the
before we
players.
leave? I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, unless I was missing someone. Yeah, I got them all. Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
Dobbs, Matt Collins. Yeah, signed four. And
yeah,
then
we
obviously the
did.
David
We,
Andrews.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a good, surprisingly good year for the offense. I think the defense, I mean, assuming people stay healthy, man. Al read off the defense last week. Defense should
Yeah,
be killing it. They
I see
should
no
be.
reason to believe that they won't be sick.
They should be. I wanted to ask you though, before we get out, just because it's kind of been the talk about the Patriots. Are you there's a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, same old Patriots, like they're doing defense, they're neglecting the offense. You know, are they really going to roll into the year with Darian Lowe at left tackle and your best receiver being Kendrick Bourne or Kayshon Boutte? Like, I don't, I, I I'm happy with what they're doing. Like, of course, you would want them to have a receiver at this point,
Yeah,
but
of
like,
course.
are you like, what's your, I don't know, care level, worry level on the Patriots building a team, a confident offense going into this year?
I think everyone's a victim to they want the excitement. They look at the obvious answer. Like everyone's a casual fan at heart, and then like the people who really like football will dig in for like a Super Bowl, like the Patriots Rams that last go around. The people who really love football will sit in and love it.
Mm-hmm.
But those same football lovers will also be enamored by a Patriots Eagles Super Bowl where there's just scoring all over the place. And you're like, holy fuck, this is incredible as well. I think people are too much victims to the casual nature of football. They want scoring, they want like exciting plays on offense, and defense just doesn't move the needle. Like if we trotted out there, and obviously in a perfect world, in a best case scenario, so we roll out there with the 2012 Seahawks defense. Our defense this upcoming season is like theirs or like the 2000 Ravens or any of the great defenses ever. Like people I don't think would be very satisfied because they want excitement. They want offense. We could win every game 16-10 and go to the Super Bowl and win, but if our offense looks like shit like the 2000 Ravens, the fans still wouldn't be psyched. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Um, as much as I want a wide receiver, as much as the next guy, and I want a stud, I would have taken DK Metcalf in a second. I would have taken Cooper Kupp
Yep.
in a second. I want Ted McMillan in the draft. I want all these things. I
Mm-hmm.
very much agree with all the fans who want these things. If I was running a football team, the wide receiver room would probably be like one of my least concerns right now because I think Drake May is going to fucking strut out there, second year, whole like bunch of all the quarterback experience under his belt. Just saw every which way, clutch situations, blowouts, offensive line, no offensive line, receivers catching passes, receivers dropping passes. He's seen it every which way his first year. He's coming in confident. He looks great his first year. Second year, he's going to come in and fucking improve. And we're not going to give him studs. We're not going to give him the best of the best off the bat because we want him to turn shit into diamonds. And then when we eventually give him diamonds, he will take diamonds and make them fucking incredible. So as much as the fans want a great receiver and I want a great receiver, I also wouldn't mind having an awesome defense and watching Drake May try and make Jalen Polk better. Is it an uphill battle? Almost certainly. He seems like a lesbian and a monster. I bet that would be super annoying to deal with all the time. Do I want people in wheelchairs to stand up when Javon Baker catches a 60-yard touchdown this season? Yes. Yes, I do, and
Yes.
I'm not willing to give up on him just because everyone
Nope.
wants DK Metcalf and Devontae Adams and all these studs, and you want everyone under the sun. I get it. I want all these guys too. I wanted we all wanted after we got Randy Moss, every wide receiver that came available after that, he'd be great on the Patriots. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
Steve Smith. Let's get AJ Green. Let's get Larry Fitzgerald. We all wanted that,
Yep.
but we didn't get it, and we got three more fucking Super Bowls after all those trade rumors, and everyone shut the fuck up because we eventually got Super Bowls. So in the end, like it would be the least of the things I would be worried about here. I would focus supremely on a left tackle. And then if you have great protection and a great defense, the quarterback's going to have enough time. The opposing defense is going to be winded, and Drake May can sit back. And if these receivers are fucking terrible, they can still get open. Jalen Polk, I bet if he had 5 to 7 seconds to run a route, he'd get
Mm-hmm.
open most of the time.
Yep. Yep. Pop Douglas could.
Yeah,
Kayshawn Booty did. Kendrick Bourne is still good.
Exactly. And if they don't do it, then Pop will, then Booty will,
Hunter
then Bourne
Henry.
will, Hunter Henry will, Austin Hooper will. We have five guys that will, I promise you, get open. And we can hope and pray that Jalen Polk and Javon Baker do. But if we're
Just one of them.
relying on five and hoping on two, that's a pretty good ratio, and I'll take that.
Yeah. That I mean, I can't say any better than that.
Yeah.
I'll just build on it. That's
Is it
exactly what it
is
is.
it going to be fireworks? No, probably not. Like we
No,
don't have fucking world
it
beaters.
was
We don't
never
have
going to
monsters.
be.
Yeah, but that's fine. It wasn't fireworks with Edelman and Amendola and Chris Hogan. It was awesome. It was cool. They had great plays and great moments. But for the most part, give the ball to LeGarrette Blount 40 times so he can score four touchdowns and we can win this playoff game.
Liam, the Eagles, your
Yeah,
team. That wasn't
100%.
fireworks.
No.
That team, I
Everyone,
how many times I tell you I hated watching the Eagles play
yeah.
football.
Dude, all the Jalen Hurts criticism. He threw for, 75
Right here,
yards at
hand up.
halftime.
I'm a part of
Yeah,
it.
he threw for 75 yards at halftime. It doesn't matter. Saquon had two touchdowns in the first half and 200 yards in the total game. No one cares. And then when the Super Bowl comes around and everyone stops paying attention to Jalen Hurts and everyone focused on Saquon Barkley, boom. Then there's fireworks. Then there's explosions. Then there's flair.
Let me who I believe someone got a strip sack in that Super Bowl. Milton Williams. What
It
team does
was
he play
Milton
on now?
Williams. That
The
would be, hold on,
Patriots.
the New England Patriots. I was going to do like the teacher thing, like, oh,
Yeah. I
Mr.
fucking
Nahigan, I know the answer.
shit. We had a
Yeah,
perfect buy in that fucking game.
yeah,
But like that, so that's the thing, man. You're not gonna have it like you can't. Not everybody can have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Not everybody can have Justin Jefferson. Like it just is what it. Like the Broncos right now have Cortland Sutton and Jerry Judy,
yeah.
fine receivers,
No,
but neither.
Jerry Judy's on the Broncos.
Yeah. Not
Yeah, they
not.
have Denzel Mims, who's
Yes.
pretty okay.
Yeah, they're not number ones. So, like, you
No,
don't need, if the Patriots draft a solid receiver, say they get, do not let them get Ted McMillan.
yeah,
Me,
100%.
I'm with
And
you.
that
I'm
would
on the
help.
Ted
That would
McMillan
help
train.
a lot. He's a
But
monster.
all they need to do is draft a good receiver,
Yeah,
and then they're good to go. Because this team is not. We keep forgetting all these weapons. Like, oh, it's only Kendrick Bourne and Kayshawn Booty and Pop Douglas and Hunter Henry's good, but he's whatever. Stevenson, Drake May is still on this team.
yeah.
I feel like we need to remind people
Yeah.
that
And
Drake
but
May
but
is
that's the
still the
problem. No,
quarterback.
people say that's their excuse for wanting a wide receiver. It's, oh, we have Drake May. We have to get him some help. He's not a fucking baby in a hot car. Like he can help
No,
himself. He'll figure it out. Like this isn't
and
it's his
he's really
second year.
good.
He's pretty good. It's his second year. If we're lucky in an ideal world, we have 15 more years of this. So I understand you really want to help him out,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't need to save his fucking career in his second season. Do
No,
we not want him to be like Mac Jones? Yes. Do we think he will be like Mac Jones? No. Could it happen? Yes. Anything could happen,
mm-hmm.
but that's apples and oranges. They're completely different things. There's no reason to dump your past trauma of Mac Jones on
Nope,
your current love
no
that is
need,
Drake May.
no
Is it
need.
an interesting comparison? Yes, absolutely. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
we'll do it one episode. But like you said, though, the best way to help a young rookie or second year, third year, whatever quarterback, the best way to help them is make it so they don't have to go out and win games on their own. Even though I think Drake May could at this
yeah,
point, kind of developing, the best way to do that is to have a good defense that's going to keep the score below 20 at least,
yeah,
below 17. And that's what
100%.
Vrabel is building. Of course, you would want Metcalf, you would want Godwin, whoever, Cup, anybody. But guess what? You don't need those guys if the defense is holding teams to 16.3 points a game.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
Yeah, you look at Patrick Mahomes, like they gave him a great offense, and then he came in and became the quarterback, and he blew the doors off the place. Everyone's
Mhm.
happy. He didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't do anything great until they got a good
Defense won
defense,
the
and then he
Super
starts
Bowl.
winning Super Bowls. Yes, and then with Joe Burrow, has absolutely nothing in his first year, ends up breaking his leg, so the first year didn't even really matter. Then all of a
Mhm.
sudden they have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase the second year, and everyone's like, "See, they helped Joe Burrow out in the second year. Why can't they help Drake May out?" And you look at that and go, well, they had those guys, but they also had Von Bell and Jesse Bates. They had
Mhm.
another corner who was really good too,
They had a
Chidobe
good
Awuzie. They
defense.
had somebody else. They had a good overall team. Their fatal flaw was they also had Eli Apple on that team, which negates any other good players that are on that
He's like a
defense.
-5.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're playing six men down. It's absolutely disgusting. But yeah, I just everyone wants to compare to other players and other situations that other people have been in. We have a good quarterback. He'll figure it out. Like if we had worse weapons than we do now, he'd still figure it out if the rest of the team is good. What was David
Yep.
Carr's problem? He didn't have a line. He got sacked a million times. He had all the weapons in the world. He had Arian Foster. He had Andre Johnson. He had Steve Slayton, Kevin Walter, Jacoby Jones. He had monsters. Didn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Like that. You need to have a defense. You see people, oh, defense, does defense win championships or does offense, does quarterback what? I don't know. You tell me, watch the Super Bowl last year. You tell me what
Yeah,
won that game.
100%. Yeah.
I don't know.
How did
That's all
how
it
did
is.
that one go?
Yeah. So I do still think that Vrabel is going to add to the offense. Obviously, you're going to get one of these top 8 receivers that's on the list that we'll talk about at some point before the draft. You're going to get a left tackle. Calm down. I know everybody wants, because you want everything now, but that's just
Yeah,
not how teams are built.
yeah.
So
Yeah, quit being so self-righteous, so
yeah,
self-gratifying.
yeah.
Fucking, yeah, like you want something, you just reward yourself right away. Like if you want an ice cream, you know what you do? You go to the gym, you burn fucking 800 calories, then you go get yourself a fucking ice
Then you
cream
go
because you
get it.
deserved it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's why I'm not 1,000 pounds because I
Yeah.
like to I like to
And
eat. So
that's
I get it.
and I skipped the gym today, and that's why I'm gonna be 1,000 pounds because I wanted to stay home and eat pulled pork mac and cheese like a fatsy.
Ooh,
Fucking piss. It
shit,
was
I might
so
have to
good.
order
It
that
was
now.
so
It's late,
good.
but I
It
might
was
have to
so
order pulled
good.
pork mac and
Oh, it was
cheese. Shit.
so
Okay.
good, dude.
All right. So we're out. Basically, Patriots fans, calm down. I know we all want a receiver. Defense is going to help
R-E-A.
Drake May. Don't worry. He's good enough. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper is going to have 800 yards. Everybody calm down.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry. Everything's fine. So
I
maybe
wonder
by
what the
next
betting
week there
line
might
is
be
on
some
Austin
sort of
Hooper to get
rumor.
800 yards.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be
So yeah,
fucking
next week,
ludicrous.
unless something happens, maybe we do one of the debates we've been doing. I don't know which
I
one. We'll
like
just
that.
kind of tease it, whatever it happens to be,
Yeah.
unless something happens. But yeah, Al will be back next week. The gang will all be here. The episodes from here on out until further notice, check wherever Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Couch Guy, Sports Spider. Check it on Monday. That's when the podcast is going to be up. For here until future reference, I will let you know when it's going to be at a different time or later or whatever. But barring some unforeseen circumstances, Sunday nights when we're going to be recording from here on out. So Monday, check. You'll see it first thing in the morning. We'll be up. Listen to us to start your
Start your
week.
week off right.
Exactly. There we go. So for Al, RIP for this week. Liam's here. I'm Mike. This was Tuck Rule Takes, episode 173. I think we'll find out, but we are out. Sweet feet. Tet McMillan.